Hello everyone in the chess world. Today I'm going to show you basically what to play with white against the Englund Gambit d4 e5. So, okay, there was one reason for me not to want to do this video and a lot more to actually do it anyway. I mean, the reason not to do it is there are a lot of YouTube videos showing you what to play against the Englund Gambit. But then I realized a few stuff. The first is I haven't seen any video which shows you all the lines. I'm going to show you all the lines, basically what you have to play. It's not too hard to learn by heart because there aren't that many lines. And the second is that in the end I want to talk about this line that the chess bro Aman Hambleton plays. I mean, this is a great GM, just bras, this is cool. I mean, you probably know this channel, but he shows a line in which he sacrifices a queen, and it's really interesting because then he plays a lot of blitz games. He wins basically all of them. Okay, mainly because he's a great player, not necessarily because of the line he showed. But this is a line that is not really analyzed in any video. So let us first go to, the main idea of the Englund Gambit and the way to almost refute it. So the idea is that after we take the pawn, black wants to, after knight c6, hit the pawn, and when we protect it, they go queen on e7, which might look as a ridiculous move, but black is simply trying to recover this pawn on e5, and there doesn't seem to be any way to protect it for white that is not bishop on f4. Well, bishop on f4 is the main move, and black answers with queen on b4 check, just, he hits three things at the same time. The king, of course, the bishop that just came out, and the b2 pawn. So, of course, we have to go back with the bishop, and this is the main line. This is what white should play to get an advantage. Black takes on b2, and now you have to know that, okay, they're threatening our rook on a1, and that the way to protect it and to get an advantage for white is knight on c3. I mean, the oldest trick in the book for the Englund Gambit, something, a way in which black has won 1,000 games, is this mistake bishop on c3. This loses immediately. It looks as we're attacking the queen and at the same time protecting the rook, but bishop on b4, pinning this bishop. This is already +4, +5 for black. This is a winning position. There's nothing to do because basically bishop takes on b4. They're not even going to take our rook or anything. They'll just play knight takes on b4, which is also hitting. I mean, now they're hitting our rook, and knight takes on c2, and I've seen, we all seen 1,000 times this queen d4. White, I mean, you could just go knight takes on c2 check now and win the queen, but why not? Actually, much better deliver and checkmate. I mean, of course, the point of all of this is bishop on c3. In this position is double question mark. Bishop b4 wins the game for black on move 6. Now, after knight c3, the correct move, you basically will always see bishop on b4. This is the correct move. But again, I told you that I want to show you every line. This is what I haven't seen in other videos. So some people try knight on b4. This is the same idea. They're just threatening knight takes on c2 check, which will also force us to give up the queen because the king is, sort of trapped. Of course, this doesn't work. This is basically a very bad line for black because we have just simply knight on d4 protecting that c2 pawn, and also we want to play, this knight here, hitting here, which is check, and also the rook. So I mean, if you probably more in a blitz game, you probably see that a6, this a6 prevents a knight on b5. But here we go to a sequence that we'll also see on the main bishop b4 line. When black plays the main bishop on b4 instead of knight on b4, we'll always have this rook on b1, forcing queen on a3, and rook on b3, forcing queen on a5. So now a3 is our move. This is the way to get the big advantage. Okay, the only move for black is knight on d5. This is what they'll play. If they go for knight on c6, they're losing material immediately. We just play this. And of course, we're hitting the queen with our bishop. And the double check again. I mean, the only way to prevent both will be queen on b6, but then we just simply have knight on d6 check, followed by taking this queen. We're winning. So going back, let us go. Knight on d5 is the only move. Now, the same idea, knight c b5, with the same idea of you know, attacking the queen. And here, well, but now there is queen on a4 because the knight on d5 is at least, yeah, protecting this double check, and they're hitting our knight. So we have to not to make this mistake. This will we won't have an advantage here. But there is a very sophisticated move here that you have to know, which is the other knight in here. So this is basically winning because look at this. The idea is quite simple. We are hitting simply knight takes on d5. So if a takes b5, I mean, we'll just take. And now, again, bishop hitting the queen, knight hitting the double check, and also controlling this b6 square. There is an even queen on b6. This will be winning. So in this particular position, the last try for black will be, well, knight takes c3, only move. And after bishop takes on c3, well, now queen takes b5 is just the only move. After which, well, of course, we'll just take the queen, and bishop on b4, I guess, is the simplest winning move. A last detail about this whole line. In this moment, instead of queen takes b5 here, there is this funky try for black, bishop on b4. I mean, I think I've seen this in one blitz game that they played against, maybe against me, maybe I saw it, some friends playing this. But this is a decent try because the idea is simply to well, block the influence of this rook over the knight on b5. So the idea is, well, if in case of either bishop takes or a takes, we will get queen takes on b5. I mean, it's a decent idea, you know, or in case of rook takes before queen takes a, you know, just queen takes a3, so I takes b5, and then the idea is hitting on a3. It's I really don't remember if they played it against me, but this is a decent idea. So I think I played rook takes or bishop takes before here. I mean, basically any move is winning. But I remember that after that, I checked with the engine to see what was the most precise move. And the engine said, well, just first give this check. You know, of course, they cannot play bishop takes knight because we will take the queen. And so after this, now we take with the bishop. And then we'll follow it up with bishop takes on d6 or e takes e6. This is, you know, like the cleanest way of winning for white after this bishop on b4 check. We're winning anyway in any line, but okay. So we just in this moment, we just with what I just showed you. Okay, no knight on b4. This knight on d4 is lights out for black. So the only move is bishop on b4. This is what basically everyone will play. So first, brief analysis on, again, what to play in the main lines with the white pieces. And then we'll go to a little bit of an alternative for black, and then the Aman Hambleton line, which is really interesting. So here, basically, again, this same procedure, queen on b1, queen on a3, rook b3, queen on a5. Going back, let me, just a little spoiler, this queen sacrifice is going to be the chessbrah line, but okay, we'll see that in the end. So queen on a3, rook b3, queen on a5 again. And here, once again, the same as in the knight on d4 line, we're just forcing moves. a3, this is basically the best move for white. And okay, now again, bishop takes c3 is the only move. If they take bishop takes on a3, I think there is more than one move, but a very simple thing to learn by heart is just play rook takes bishop, and after queen takes, knight on b5, and hitting the queen. And then we'll follow it up with knight takes on c7 check, and then taking the rook, and also, you know, just taking out black's castling right. This is too simple, you know, not to play it. I think that there were alternatives, but hey, just play rook takes bishop. So bishop takes c3 only move, and after bishop takes on c3, queen c5 is the main move. Here you can play e3. I like more e4. Black will usually just go for knight g7. The idea is, well, of course, allowing castles, but then play knight on g6 and try to recover the pawn on e5. Just develop bishop on d3, and after knight on g6, well, this is a key move in a lot of the lines of the Englund Gambit. A move that we will not see it immediately. You kind of have to know that this move exists for white in the Englund Gambit. It's queen on a1. I mean, it's so unusual to put our best piece in like the the corner, the square in the board that which deserves more than any other square. Then the name of, or the nickname of corner. Just A1. What do you mean? This the queen can go anywhere while putting it on the corner? Well, we're just simply protecting the pawn on E5. We're having this bit of machinery with queen and the bishop. Maybe even one they will want to play E6 and take on G7, mostly in case they castle. We also protect this A3 pawn, so this rook is not doesn't have that responsibility anymore. So again, definitely not the first move that will come to our minds, but once you see it, it's like, oh yeah, queen on A1 and it's castles. This will be the main line. This is a clear advantage for white. Black has very little to show for all these shenanigans they did from the opening. And well, this queen on A1, just one little detail. Let us go back to here. I told you bishop takes on A3, just play this, and knight on B5. For example, queen on C5, knight takes, and we take it. And after knight takes on E5, again, there are a lot of moves, but once again, queen on A1 will be probably the best move in this position. Just for you to have that in mind, there's always in these main lines, this queen takes on A1. Before going to the chessboard line, which is, in here we said instead of the main line, queen on A3, queen takes E3. One last detail of the Englund Gambit is sometimes you will see this d4 e5, pawn takes knight c3, knight on f3, and instead of queen on e7, g6. It's more like in the spirit of the From Gambit. This is typical. Black is saying, okay, take on d6. You will definitely be for a long time up on up, but I want you to develop my bishop, right? The e takes e6. Well, at least I'll take my pieces out. I'm searching for compensation in an aggressive chess, that way. I think that bishop on g5 is just the simplest way to go here for white. Again, you could have played 1,000 other moves. I'm sure of it. You could play a lot of other moves. But I think it's so simple, bishop g5, because, on the internet, most players go f6. And now you just take it. I just take the pawn. Here, sometimes I play e3. Sometimes I play c4. Sometimes I play knight c3. The point is black has nothing to show for here. This, again, clear advantage for white. Yeah, of course, black one day will say, okay, I'll castle and I'll try to use the fact that, yeah, I'll have the f-file, but that is definitely not enough. And what else? Queen d7, I've seen some games like this. I think here I would even take immediately the pawn. That's it. And then after, I don't know, knight on c3. Again, there's not too much to show for. Finally, again, I say this, Aman Hambleton has been trying the Englund Gambit. Queen, not queen on e3. Queen takes on c3. So the idea is, of course, okay, bishop takes check. Only move knight on d2. And now bishop takes on e5. This is the line. So again, I think that, he has this cool video with this opening. He shows how he basically wins a lot of games against really strong players. Okay, as I said before, this is because he's a really strong GM and he makes really good moves. But there is a point in this line that he plays. And the thing is, if I were to play the Englund Gambit with the black pieces, I think I will choose his line. So, okay, again, feed this position to a computer, and the computer will tell you, I think, +2 for white. Definitely a decisive advantage for white. But there is a lot to say for black. So, well, first of all, I love material imbalance, as I've shown in my video of material imbalance. In that video, basically on all the games that I show you that I played and that I won, I gave up the queen for either 3 minor pieces or a rook and a minor piece, different variations on materials for my queen, maybe for more material. So initially, I really like that. So the thing is, well, here black has all these minor pieces. So there are 2 minor pieces, for the queen and an extra pawn. So if we think material-wise, well, it will be almost like being a piece down maybe, or an exchange down. So it's not so terrible. The second thing is, while this what we have in material with white, for white in here is our queen that is, well, now it's on d1, quite passive. Okay, of course, eventually she'll play. But the other thing is, the queen needs targets. So look at this. I mean, this is what I like strategically, the idea of this sacrifice by Aman. I like it. I mean, black has all of the pawns, really solid behind, and so the queen will take some time in finding targets. So it is an interesting idea. And of course, the queen being the most important and valuable piece, the whole chessboard, well, she has no value for exchanges. She needs targets that are not defended by anyone. She cannot start, going for exchanges because she's too valuable. So again, if you think about it strategically, all of this is quite interesting for black. I think definitely I will play this with black if someone were to force me to play the Englund Gambit. As to what to offer for white, okay, before, just want to show you this because, again, I like to show every line. Of course, Hambleton plays bishop takes on e5, which is the correct move. If knight takes on e5, the reason, imagine this is the reason why he doesn't play this. Well, we have rook b3, and now the dark square bishop is one of the best pieces for black in this line. So now it's a piece that is going to have to go to a clumsy square, which will be a5. I mean, if they go to d4, we can even play this. So we'll force knight takes knight, g takes, let us say, I mean, bishop b6 is possible now, or bishop on f6. We even have this bishop on h3, why not? So we just want to exchange pieces after some possible d6 and make our task easier. So I don't know, knight e7, maybe f4, let us say b6, e4, having these positions. Or going back, rook b3, well, a5, bishop on a5, once again, as you remember, always queen on a1, in this case hitting the knight, and f6, e4, this not desirable for black. So that's why, going back in this sacrifice, bishop takes on e5 will be the line. And here, I mean, I like e3. This is the thing. I've seen in these games that he played, on the internet. Well, I tried different stuff, but I think we should probably try to make the logical thing. Just develop pieces, try to be solid, and one day think about how to activate our queen and try to use this extra material. So e3 is the most innocent and solid looking move. Let us make it, and let us say, I don't know, knight f6, c4. Again, we could have played bishop on e2, we could have played bishop on d3. I like this c4, and after castles, now bishop on d3. And there's not too much to be said. Again, I think that this is a typical thing. For example, I mean, black will play either d6 or d5. Well, one of the things with our bishop on d3, I think, well, now we finally found some destiny for our queen. I think she'll play pretty well on c2. So let us say if d6, queen on c2, I think is just fine. Also, just to ask this bishop what to do, right? Which is the last piece that wants to be developed. Maybe on d7 will be slightly passive. g4 now, bishop on g4 will be hitting on air. Now the bishop cannot go to f5. e6 is probably a good square, but I don't know. This is cool. I mean, d5 looks like a better move. I don't think we would even have to define anything here. So just let us play castles. I don't know, rook d8, finally queen on c2. But the thing is the same, in here we always have this, we have the prize on our hands with white. These are all winning positions for white, but at least dynamics are and the chaos and the position and the material imbalance are making this like at least an interesting position for black, and mostly, of course, for blitz and quick gains. In a long game, I'm sure, this is the thing. Few people will play this because, yeah, the advantage is too great. But again, I think it's an interesting line that he offers. It's fun, and definitely what I will play with black if I had to play the Englund Gambit. So, okay, I don't think you'll see this too often. The most important thing comes in, well, basically in this position, just knowing what to do against, knight b4, which basically will be always winning, and also against bishop before main line, when we will always be able to force at least a clear advantage for white and be comfortable. So in a way, refuting the Englund Gambit, which, yeah, it's more or less a refuted opening. White can force in general, winning positions, worst case scenario, a clear advantage. But again, and finally, one last reason why I actually wanted to do this video. I cannot tell you how many people love this gambit. This is the other thing. On the internet and on Blitz games, I've seen this opening 1,000 times. It's just a regular opening, at least a regular Blitz opening. It's one more from the whole pack, like whatever, King Sin, Queen's Gambit accepted, Queen's Gambit rejected, Englund Gambit. Everyone plays this. I think it's easy to play. So I guess these are basically the reasons. So okay, I'll leave my citronetta to ask you to like, comment, share, and subscribe of the video as usual. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.